So first, I want to start with reminding about the tasks that you're going to have. So they are going to be reading, two kinds of reading, kind of long reading and short reading, and also use of language, use of English. So we are going today to practice with long reading and with use of English. So for doing this, we are going to use a text. And I will remind you also that today's topic is culture and lifestyle. So we'll speak about different things connected with our everyday life, with different activities that we can have on the everyday basis. So actually, I see one more student. Good afternoon. Welcome. So again, I remind that today we work with topic culture and lifestyle. And now I want us to deal with reading activity, reading part. I will demonstrate you the screen. We will read the text together and then we'll do some activities. So here it is. So girls, can you see it? So I hope now you can. So here you see this long reading, the so-called long reading. I will remind you that you will have two variants of reading. One is considered to be short text. The other one is considered to be a long one. Here we're dealing with a long one. So it is, I would say, more difficult, more complicated, and it's more difficult to deal with the tasks devoted to it. So let's today practice with long reading, and then we'll proceed with use of English. So I hope that you will enjoy our today's collaboration, and I will ask you, as there are not many students today present at our lesson, at our meeting, I will ask you two girls, Sophia and Yulia, to take turns while reading, while doing the tasks, while answering the questions, while asking the questions. So let's work together with two of you, with both of you. So first, I will ask you to look at the task. Here it is. So you're going to read an introduction to a book about how to organize local events. For questions 20-34, choose from the sections on the introduction from A to E. The sections may be chosen more than once. It means that all the variants which are offered can actually be chosen several times. This is important, and it is always important to read the task first before you proceed with doing it. Тобто, давайте про всяк випадок буду перекладати якусь ключову інформацію, на що я хочу звернути вашу увагу. Коли тільки слухати. Окей, добре, Юля. Якщо будуть питання, тоді пишіть. Отже, на що хочу звернути вашу увагу? Коли ви виконуєте якісь завдання, немає різниці які, тобто це або читання, да, будь-якого тексту, чи великого, чи маленького. Якщо це у вас робота з мовою, тобто use of English, да? Ви в будь-якому разі спочатку маєте ознайомитися із завданням. Обов'язково завжди читайте завдання, бо іноді буває таке, що, по-перше, в самому завданні, ви зможете краще зрозуміти, що від вас взагалі-то вимагає, да? Що від вас очікується, плюс в самому завданні може бути якась вже підказка надана. І плюс, знову ж таки, для того, щоб правильно виконати завдання, ви маєте чітко для себе зрозуміти, що в цьому завданні вам надано і з чим вам треба саме працювати. Після того, як ви ознайомилися з завданням, so after reading the task itself, you should proceed either with reading the text itself or with reading those offered variants. So you can do any way. If you proceed with reading the text, first you want to get acquainted with the text, you can do this. You take into consideration the offered material, and then you get back to the offered variants. And after you read these offered variants, you again try to look through the text, and every time you have a new option, a new variant, you should address the text and try to find the places that will suit the information that is asked about in the task, or the information that you are supposed to match with the offered sections, with the offered variants in the task itself. So you can do it in two ways. Отже, після ознайомлення з завданням ви можете або ж перейти до читання тексту, ознайомитися з текстом, і потім вже перейти до того, щоб ознайомлюватися з наданими вам варіантами, варіаціями правильної відповіді, або ж навпаки, спочатку ви можете ознайомитися з усіма варіантами, що вам надано, а потім вже перейти до читання тексту. Таким чином, ви, читаючи текст, будете тримати в голові ті опції, що вам запропоновано, з якими ви вже ознайомились, і я б сказала, що ви трошки таким чином полегшите собі завдання, або, може, трошки його прискорите, бо ви вже будете знати, з чим маєте справу, і на що саме вам треба у тексті звернути увагу. Да? Тобто, коли ви будете вже читати кожен абзац, кожен параграф, ви будете вже знати, що якась інформація, якісь речення, якісь слова, якісь словосполучення, які ви зустрічаєте в тексті, співвідносяться з тим, що ви вже побачили в завданні. І таким чином вам буде легше концентруватися, фокусувати свою увагу на тих важливих моментах, на тих важливих місцях тексту, які потім ви зможете використати для того, щоб справитися з завданням. Але, знову ж таки, повторюсь, ви обираєте для себе той варіант, який вам більш підходить, який вам більш до вподоби, до якого ви звикли, бо я думаю, що все ж таки за роки шкільного навчання ви мали практику в читанні. І я думаю, що ви вже знаєте, яким чином вам краще працювати з текстами, яким чином вам швидше і, може, трошки простіше виконувати завдання з читання. Тому я пропоную нам сьогодні все ж таки піти варіантом, коли ми спершу познайомимося з варіаціями запропонованими, тобто ось ці всі варіанти зліва, з 20 по 34 ми прочитаємо, ознайомимося з ними, з інформацією, що надана, а потім вже ми перейдемо до читання тексту. І коли ми будемо читати текст, можливо, під час читання тексту ми вже зможемо на якісь питання відповісти. Якщо ж ні, то потім після прочитання тексту ми знову повернемося до цих запропонованих варіантів, до цих опцій, і будемо потім вже намагатися співставити ту інформацію, з якою ми ознайомимося в тексті, з тими варіаціями, що нам надані. І таким чином будемо надавати відповідь на питання. So, as I have already mentioned, we are now going to read these options, these variants, which are given here from 20 to 34. I will ask you to consider that you don't need to translate anything, but you have to be able to understand what the phrase, the sentence, or the paragraph is about. So you must have general understanding of information which is offered in these kinds of tasks. So general information, not word-by-word translation, you will not need it at all. So understanding the text, understanding the proposed variants is a must, not word-by-word translation. No translation at all. So then, Sophia, I will ask you to read these variants which are offered on the left, starting from this question. In which section?
In which selection of the text are following mentioned? The importance of making it clear to people that you value them. The writer's natural instinct to want to do everything herself. Uh, Times when the writer has felt she may become unable to cope. A way in which the writer's situation has been different from that of people she had worked with. Um, People who get involved in organizing events but don't really want to do any work. Some people prefer others to be in charge. Um, the assistance provided by people who are psychically strong, people who get involved because of their strongly held wives, the situation in which you are free to considerate only on the most important aspects of organizing an event, the violence of people to try things they may not have done before, the feeling that you really are in control, not just pretending to be. The writers believe that she cannot tell readers everything they need to know. The difference that may exist between the way events are planned and the way they turned out. A situation when it's desirable to have someone else checking that you are doing.
Thank you very much. So now I want you to take one more look at all these variants to make sure that everything is clear. If not, then I will help you with understanding some of them. So take a look at all of them once again, because I understand that while reading, you might not be focused enough to take the meaning of them. So look them through. Okay, do you have any questions?
No.
Everything's clear. Okay, good. Then let's move on with reading the text. And one more important aspect, I think you know about it, but still I will remind it to you. The most important aspect is to read everything. What I mean is to start from the very title, to read all the information which is given under the title. So there can be kind of introductory part, or there can be some notes given. So everything that is given to you on a piece of paper must be properly read. So read everything. So then, Sophia, I will ask you to start reading from the title, and I offer you to do it making pauses after each part of the text. I mean, after having read part A, you can make a pause and try to identify if there are any answers out of this, where you can put letter A as the one that is appropriate. And again, I remind you that sometimes you can have more than one variant. Okay, so let's try. Let's start reading from the very title and then we'll proceed.
Okay. Organizing local events. Are you thinking of setting up a fantastic fundraising event for your local school or community? Sarah Passingham, a professional fundraiser, offer advice. I had a lot of fun from running events. It has been a hard work, but I have always done it in the knowledge that I was being paid for for my many hours of toil. There are hundreds, probably thousands of volunteers who work just as hard as no financial uh, uh, remuneration at all, and I have enormous admiration for them. I have worked with a good many groups and individuals who have had a burning ambitions to do something for practical community. Remaining enthusiastic even in the face of adversity. When things go wrong, it desperately disappointing and uh, uh, disheartening. Perhaps by looking at some of my suggestions and learning from my mistakes, most of those disappointing times can be avoided. However, this guide is not meant as a definitive work on organizing events. Rather, it is meant as a framework of which to hang your own ideas and methods of doing things.
Thank you very much. Let's now again look through the variants from 20 to 34 to find out if we have some of them that will suit paragraph A. If you can see some of them, you can name them, you can name the number of them. If not, I will help you with finding out the numbers, but your task then will be to find the appropriate information in the text itself, in the paragraph. Let's try to do like this. So I will offer you to look at some numbers of the variants which are offered here, and you will be to find the appropriate information in the paragraph, in paragraph A. So look at number 23. So in which section of the text are the following mentioned? Number 23, a way in which the writer's situation has been different from that of people she has worked with. Let's now look at the paragraph once again and find the place or places that tell us about a way in which the writer's situation has been different from that of people she has worked with.
Maybe I have worked with a good many groups and individuals who have had a burning ambition to do something for practical community, reminded enthusiastic even in the face of adversity when things go wrong. It is desperately disappointing and disheartening, perhaps by looking at some of my suggestions and learning from my mistakes. Maybe this.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This one, and also, well, you've partially read some more information that will also be necessary for us. I will ask you to look at number 28. Well, you have 27, 28 parallelly. It means that you will have one more paragraph that will suit it, but paragraph A here should also be used. So we talk about people who get involved because of their strongly held views. So where do you see this information? Well, you have actually already read it. So together you've read two aspects, two sections together. So those people who are enthusiastic, right, having their strongly held views, are involved into the process that the author is. Okay, and also I will ask you to look at number 32. 32. So the writers believe that she cannot tell readers everything they need to know. Where is the part of the paragraph in which the writer feels that she cannot tell readers everything they need to know?
maybe the last one sentence. However, this is a guide, is not meant as defined work.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So the last part, the last sentence actually suits this definition. Good. Let's move on. Let's take part B. Read part B, please, and then we'll do the same.
Okay, B. A very important piece of advice is don't panic. Organizing events can be a fraud business, and I have myself come close to falling apart of occasions, but it achieved nothing and did not inspire my uh, college colleges. Yeah. I uh, hope this book will act as a buffer to be used before you go off the rails, and that it will allow you to not only to appear calm and well organized, but genuinely to be those things. In early 10 years of working with every type of professional and amateur, indoors and out, when plans have moved from A to B and sometimes to C due to bad weather or other reasons too numerous to mention. I don't think the general public have ever realized that was going on behind the scene. Sometimes what they were expecting was far removed from the original concept, but nobody minded, and more than often than not, nobody knew.
Okay, thank you very much. I will ask you to look at number 22 now. So, times when the writer has felt she may become unable to cope. We are in paragraph B. Do we have information about times when the writer has felt she may become unable to cope?
Uh, Maybe in early 10 years of working with every type of professional and amateur, uh, when plants moved from A to B and sometimes to C.
Okay, this can be relevant to this, right? Because we understand that when plans are ruined, very often people can be disappointed and people might want to put their hands down. But also, this is not the only part that we can rely on, but also we can look at the beginning, like almost at the very beginning, where she says that I have myself come close to falling apart on occasions, right? So this means that she sometimes doubted that she could cope with the tasks, and actually she thought that she would not be able to do everything that was planned by her. So this is always a piece of information that shows us that number 22 is about paragraph B. Then I will ask you to look at number 31. So here we speak about the feeling that you really are in control, not just pretending to be. So where is the part of the paragraph in paragraph B where we find out about the feeling that you really are in control, not just pretending to be? You can use the, I would say, sentence almost in the middle of the paragraph.
I hope this book will act as a buffer to be used before you go off the rails, and that it will allow you not to only appear calm and well organized, but genuinely to be those things.
Yeah, right, you are. But genuinely to be those things, right? Not just to appear, but actually to be. You're absolutely right. Good. And also one more. part of information is under number 33. The difference that may exist between the way events are planned and the way they turn out. So the
I
information
think
about
this
changing
is
plans.
a paragraph I read before. Maybe.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When plans have moved from A to B, sometimes to C, right? So this is about changing plans. And when something goes not the way it was planned, the way it was supposed to be. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Good. Let's move on with part C. Read paragraph C, please.
See, even if you have unlimited spare time and resources to set an event up, it's almost impossible to organize the day itself with only one person. You psychically cannot be in two more places at once. Committees can be tiresome, and widely groups of people who may have come out for the evening just to enjoy some special chit chat. However, if you have a committee that operates effectively and decisively, it can relieve you of much of the time. Confusing but necessary work, and allow you to get to grips with the real nitty-gritty and keep a good overview without getting bogged down by details. And when you are dealing with money from the public, it's always worth having at least a cashier or a treasurer as a second person to keep an eye on balance of banking. You never want to be put in the position of having the finger of doubt or suspicion pointed at you, even if you know that you are entirely innocent.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's now deal with this paragraph C. Look, please, at number 24. People who get involved in organizing events but don't really want to do any work.
Maybe comedians can be tiresome and largely groups of people who may have some come out for evening just enjoy some social chit chat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So they don't want to work actually, but they want to have some kind of communication, some kind of social life, right? Good. Then look at number 29, a situation in which you are free to concentrate only on the most important aspects of organizing an event. So I will help you and you will just read out this part once again in order to realize how it is relevant to the statement in number 29. Start reading once again with the word however. However, if you have a committee.
However, if you have a committee that operates effectively and decisively, it can relieve you of much of the time-consuming but necessary work.
Yeah, and continue up till the end.
and allow you to get to grips with the real nitty-gritty and keep a good overview without getting down by details.
Right. So this part tells us about an opportunity to focus on something necessary, something really important, without wasting our time for something that we don't need. So this is what this part is about. And also look at number 34. It will also refer to paragraph C. So here we deal with a situation when it is desirable to have someone else checking what you are doing. Can you find the place?
Maybe, and when you are dealing with money from the public, it's always worth having at least a cashier or treasurer as a second person.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So this is the part that tells us that it is better to collaborate with some people or with some person that will also help you and give you this double check, right? So-called double check. Good, thank you very much. Let's now move on with paragraph D. Read it, please.
D. When I first started, my critics would say that one of my failing was an unwillingness to delegate. I hope that is no longer true, as in time I have come to realize the value of help, especially from the volunteer. Help can come in many forms apart from the obvious muscle and brown support and encouragement and infectious enthusiasm all come from working with people who have chosen to give their time and sometimes their belonging for a cause they care passionately about. But what can you expect from volunteers? There is one rule of thumb here. Let volunteers know exactly what job is what that they are volunteering for. They can make a choice to put themselves forward or not. But don't expect anyone to do anything you would not be prepared to tackle yourself.
Thank you very much. So let's now look at variants that refer to part D. So number 21, the writer's natural instinct to want to do everything herself. I'll help you a bit. It's at the very beginning of the paragraph. So when I first started, my critics would say that one of my failings was an unwillingness to delegate. Unwillingness to delegate means that this person didn't have any will to delegate any of her tasks to anybody. So she wanted really to do everything by herself without any help. Here we see that this part, this statement number 21 is really about part D. Let's now look at number 26. So the assistance provided by people who are physically strong.
Help can come in many forms apart from the obvious muscle and bone.
Yeah, right, you are good. And also look at number 27. People who get involved because of their strongly held views. Something that we have already dealt with, choosing it for A, and now we choose it for D. But where do we have this information in part D?
Um, mm, mm, mm. Support and encouragement and infectious enthusiasm all come from working with people who have chosen to give their time and sometimes their belongings to a cause they care passionately about.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Good, thank you very much. And let's now finish reading. We understand that number 20, 25, and 30 are going to be about part E, but still let's read the paragraph itself. Then we'll try to take a look at each of those numbers, finding the information in the text. So please read paragraph E.
In my experience, as long as they are prepared beforehand, people will have a go at almost anything. Of course, you have to be able to rely on your volunteer once they have offers their service. You need committed from commitment from them. And if they can't make it or particular they or are going to be late, you need to know well in advance so that you can make alternative arrangements. Now, what's it in for them? Fun, companionship, a sense of responsibility, or conversely, allowing someone else to hold the responsibility, or simply an opportunity to get out of the house. But above all, we all need to feel needed, and you will often find that the move you show that you need your volunteers, them more they will be prepared to commit their time and energy to you, often time and time again. If you, as leader, keep the atmosphere as light as possible by sharing the decisions and being flexible, they will manage to get what they want out of the work, and you will get a job well done.
Good, thank you very much. So let's look at number 20. The importance of making it clear to people that you value them.
Uh, mm, mm, wait, I lost this paragraph.
E, paragraph E.
Yeah.
Number 20. The very first one. So the importance of making it clear to people that you value them.
But above all, we need to feel needed, and you will often find that the more you show that you need your volunteers, the more they will be prepared to commit their time and energy to you, often time and time again. If you, as a leader, keep the atmosphere as light as possible by sharing the decisions and being flexible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So this is really about number 20. Now let's take a look at number 25. Some people preferring others to be in charge. They are in the middle, almost in the middle of the paragraph, starting with now. Now what's in it for them? And then it starts. Found. There was fun.
Fun, companionship, a sense of responsibility, or conversely, allowing someone else to hold responsibility, or simply an opportunity to get out of the house.
Yeah, right, Yor. And the last one that refers to part E is number 30, the willingness of people to try things they may not have done before. So at the end of the paragraph, there is this part starting with and being flexible. Here it is.
And being flexible, they will manage to get what they want of the work, and you will get a job well done.
Yeah, right, sure. Thank you very much. So, if we want to sum up a bit, we have to say that it is necessary, as we have already mentioned, to get acquainted with the task, first of all, to get acquainted with all the variants that we are going to work with. I'm talking about these variants which are given on the left. So usually we consider them to be part of the task. So that's why I'm saying that it is really so important to get acquainted with the task. Everything that is offered to us together with the task to the whole activity, to the whole exercise, is considered to be a task. So getting familiar with the task, we further will find it easier for us to find the necessary parts in the text that we are supposed to work with. Because as you can see, this text is really pretty long, and this is the example of this kind of reading where you have this long text to work with. So you really have to remember a lot of information, right? So while reading the text, you have to be able to come up with information that you read in paragraph A while reading information in paragraph D, for example, in order to remember what you read about in this paragraph, what you read about in that paragraph, and then later to come up with the correct answer while choosing the necessary option. So that's why it is really very important to be in the know of what you have to do, like to properly find out the task to the activity. And of course, as you can see it, the text is not very easy, right? Or it might seem not to be easy at all to some of students. Well, it depends, of course, on your vocabulary, the vocabulary that you possess. So the bigger your vocabulary is, the easier it is for you to deal with such activities, to deal with such tasks. Because you see that you are not supposed to translate anything, of course, and I mentioned it at the very beginning. I told you that you were not supposed to translate anything before we started reading, and this is an important thing to keep in mind. So you only need to understand what the text is about. You are to get the information in general, be able to process it, be able to analyze it, and then convert it into the main idea or several main ideas that will coincide with the statement or with the questions which are offered in the task. So this is really important to have a big enough vocabulary, right? So like you have, of course, to be working on it all the time, but this is something important that you should consider now when you still have some time for preparation for your English test. So you need to work on your vocabulary in order not to be lost, not to be confused when you have a difficult text for reading. Then one more thing, I think that you know about it and you've noticed it already, but still I will remind you, this peculiarity of reading tasks. We will never have here in the task part sentences, words, phrases that are 100% similar to those which are given here in this text that we are supposed to read. So I think that this is not a new information for you, but still. Тобто, ну, про всяк випадок перекладу. Що я вже сказала, да? Значить, по-перше, дуже важливим є, як ми побачили, вже виконавши завдання, ознайомитися з самим завданням безпосередньо, да? Зрозуміти, що ми маємо саме зробити з текстом, бо це, ну, скажімо так, ключ до правильного виконання завдання. Потім ми, звичайно, маємо пропрацьовувати наш вокабуляр, ну це на постійній основі, да? І поки що маємо час до тесту, можемо також попрацювати над тим, щоб поповнити словниковий запас свій. І зазвичай тексти для ось цього подовженого рідінгу, да, те, що long reading, I call it long reading, ось ці тексти довгі для завдання з читання, вони зазвичай містять багато складної лексики, багато лексики, яка може бути незнайома для вас, але, знову ж таки, наголошую на тому, що вам не треба нічого перекладати. Ви, звісно, не маєте, в принципі, 100% знати всі слова, які вжиті в тексті, да? Але все ж таки розуміння тексту, розуміння параграфу в цілому, да, про що йде мова, має бути, звісно. Ну і, в принципі, як ми бачимо, ми впоралися, да, Софія виконала всі завдання, впоралися з завданнями. Я думаю, що там були якісь слова незнайомі, нові, да, проте вони не завадили впоратися з завданнями, правильно співставити наші ну, близько десятка варіантів, да, з текстами, з параграфами з тексту. Тобто, в цілому ми маємо розуміння, про що йде мова в кожному з параграфів, і це є основним для нас, да, для того, щоб ми правильно виконали завдання. Це, в принципі, є те, що від нас вимагається. І, як я англійською вже сказала, проговорила це, повторю українську, да, на що треба звернути увагу, проте я думаю, що ви так це вже знаєте. В частині з завданнями у нас не надаються слова, словосполучення або цілком речення, да, які у нас вжиті в тексті. Тобто вони трансформовані, вони виражені іншими словами, іншим чином, може навіть іншою граматичною конструкцією можуть бути виражені. Да? Тобто ми не маємо робити пошуку ось цих стверджень або питань, ну, в залежності від того, що там у нас за завдання, да, надано. Ми не маємо шукати ось ці всі слова, речення ось тут в тексті, бо їх не буде, ми не знайдемо. Якщо там будемо залежати від якихось слів, бо, ну, наприклад, там такі слова, як people, да, або ж work, або ж situation, ну, які там впадають зараз в око, вони будуть продубльовані в тексті, може навіть декілька разів, але наша задача не чіплятись за слова, окремі слова, або два-три слова в словосполученні, а саме чіплятись за ідею, за зміст. Тобто за те, що виражено ось в цій частині, да, в кожному пункті, і шукати той самий зміст, ту саму ідею в ось цих абзацах з тексту. Ось це і є нашим завданням, це є нашою роботою. Тобто ми не шукаємо таких 100% еквівалентів за словниковим складом, за словарним складом, але ми шукаємо ту саму ідею, інформацію про те саме в тексті і в ось цих наданих нам опціях. Ось це наша задача, да? Це є нашим завданням. Окей, girls, do you have any questions? Давайте так, якщо є питання, давайте розбирати. По тексту, може, є якісь питання, як там краще працювати з текстом, або безпосередньо до цього завдання є питання, або, може, вже які завдання ви виконували, з якимись складнощами зіштовхнулися, і ви б хотіли проговорити, які є варіанти виконання якихось завдань і як справитися з якими складнощами. Нема питання. Добре. Якщо нема питань, тоді ми зараз з вами перейдемо до іншого виду діяльності. Як пам'ятаєте, ну, я думаю, що не тільки з мого вступу ви це пам'ятаєте, да, що я сказала, що будуть завдання не тільки на читання, а ще і на використання мови. Я думаю, що в цілому ви вже ознайомлені з типами завдань, які у вас будуть на тесті, тому, в принципі, це не новина. що ви будете мати завдання з використання мови. So, you will have the task, which is devoted to use of English. And at the very beginning of our today's meeting, I mentioned it, but I think that you are already familiar with this. I think that you know that you will have to work with the English language, and you will have to come up with some other tasks, not only the ones that are devoted to reading. So let me demonstrate you a different task. Зараз я вам продемонструю інше завдання, яке буде присвячено використанню мови. Так. Є. So again, as usual, it is really very important to get acquainted with the task itself first, and then move on doing the very task. So again, Sophia, I will ask you to read the task. Here it is.
For question 112, read the text below and decide that which answer A, B, C, or D best fills each gap. There's an explain of at the beginning. 0. Mark your answers on the separate answer sheet. Explain. 0. A, stand. B, keep. C, hold. D, fix. And explain.
So this is the example, right? Example which is already done for us to help us identify how to work with such activities. So you have a text with gaps, and in those gaps you have to put some words. Every time there is only one word. Again, it is something that depends on the task itself. In this very activity, we're going to have only one possible variant. If more than one variant is possible, then you will be told about this in the task. Тобто, ще раз, да, проговоримо важливість ознайомлення з самим завданням безпосередньо, бо деколи ми можемо почати виконувати завдання, не ознайомившись з самим завданням, і можемо таким чином зробити якісь помилки або там мати якісь недоліки. Наприклад, в даному випадку ми маємо текст з пропусками, які ми повинні заповнити, і заповнювати їх ми будемо кожного разу, використовуючи тільки один варіант слова з наданих нам опцій. Якщо ж, наприклад, у завданні є мова, є дописана інформація, додана інформація про те, що ми можемо використовувати більш ніж один варіант, це означатиме, що нам треба бути більш уважними і подивитись, в яких там пропусках у нас можуть бути два або і навіть більше варіантів. І якщо, наприклад, в завданні, де є такий допис про те, що може бути більше, ніж один варіант використаний, ми можемо бути впевнені на 100%, що, ну, принаймні, в одному з цих номерів має бути більше, ніж одна відповідь. Тому, якщо, наприклад, ми виконали завдання, ми впоралися з текстом, і ми бачимо, що в кожному пробілі, в кожному пропуску у нас тільки один варіант зазначений, значить, десь ми помилились, десь ми не додали потрібну відповідь, потрібний варіант. Тому треба ще раз продивитися завдання, повернутися до всіх пробілів і намагатися десь знайти цю помилку. В даному випадку, в самому завданні до вправи, нам нічого не сказано про те, що ми маємо вжити більше, ніж один правильний варіант, більше, ніж одну правильну відповідь. Тому ми кожного разу будемо шукати тільки одну правильну відповідь, тільки одна літера нам буде підходити, тільки одне слово нам буде підходити для заповнення пропуску. І тут, знову ж таки, ці завдання можуть варіюватися, да? So these tasks, I mean, use of English tasks can be different. Sometimes you can have the part with some text or some sentences that you're supposed to work with. And for example, if you have to fill in some gaps, you might not have any variants from which you can choose. And you have to come up on your own with some appropriate words. In this case, the activity that we're going to deal with now has some variants, has those options that we are supposed to work with. And we are supposed to choose one from these four offered every time. Тобто, якщо ми кажемо про такий вид завдання, робота з мовою, да, ми кажемо про те, що не завжди воно буде в одному форматі мати один той самий вид. Наприклад, може бути також завдання з заповненням пропусків, але не буде надано варіанти, з яких ми можемо обирати слова для заповнення цих самих пропусків. Ми, можливо, повинні будемо самостійно подумати, якими словами, з допомогою яких слів ми маємо заповнювати ці пропуски. В даному ж випадку ми маємо справу з завданням, де у нас запропоновані варіанти, да, кожного разу по 4 варіанти, з яких ми можемо обрати один. Тому вид даної вправи, даного завдання може відрізнятися, звичайно, вони можуть бути різними, але сьогодні ми будемо працювати саме з таким варіантом завдання, коли у нас є запропоновані опції, з яких кожного разу нам треба буде обирати один правильний варіант. Що стосується алгоритму виконання такого завдання. So as for the procedure of doing such an activity, again, you can first read the text, the whole text, in order to get acquainted with it, to know what it is about. Then you can proceed looking through the options that are offered. Then you can get back to the text and read it once again. And while reading it for the second time, fill in the gaps, choosing one of the variants that are offered. Or you can first get acquainted with all the options which are offered there to maybe somehow try to identify how much you understand, how much you know. I mean, how many words you actually know, how many words you actually remember. You can even try to make up some kind of a story, some kind of a text that you think these words can suit, and maybe you will already have some kind of presumption as to what the text is going to be about. And then you will proceed with reading the text itself, filling in the gaps parallelly at the same time, simultaneously. So it depends, like as you wish. Maybe again, you have some preferable way of working with this activity, of doing this kind of activity. You can choose any. But now I offer us to do the next. I offer us to read the text paragraph by paragraph. And first, we are to read the paragraph without filling in the gap, actually all the gaps. And then read the words which are offered as options. And then get back again to this paragraph. And every time make a pause at every gap and make our choice. Окей? Тобто я пропоную наступним чином зробити. Будемо читати параграф, потім читати слова, які у нас запропоновано, і потім повертатись знову до цього параграфу, вже заповнюючи пропуски потрібним нам словом. Окей? So, Sophia, will you try? Take the first paragraph, please, into consideration.
Read, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Holidays in South Carolina. Rowing across the bay in a motor seat, not a rubber boat, we were told by the captain to our eyes open. With the engine turned off, it was long before half a dozen dolphins came swimming around us. Eventually, two came up beside the boat and popped their head out of the water to give us a wide grin.
Okay, let's make a pause. And now let's look at the words which are offered for filling in the gaps of the first paragraph. Ну, в принципі, той, що під цифрою 0, вже зроблено для нас, да, в якості прикладу. Тут ми вже знаємо, що треба обрати варіант B, це keep. Да? І тоді, як ми будемо використовувати правильний потрібний варіант, знову ж таки, тут теж важливо нагадати про виконання самого завдання в залежності від того, що від вас вимагається. Чи вписання варіанту потрібного безпосередньо в текст. Чи, як, наприклад, тут да, від нас вимагають записувати відповідну літеру правильного варіанту на окремий аркуш паперу. Тобто це все також треба мати на увазі. І, наприклад, поки ви виконуєте, ну, скажімо так, в черновому варіанті це завдання, ви можете, звичайно, прописувати для себе в тексті літери, які відповідають за правильно обрану відповідь, а потім вже, переносячи ці відповіді на окремий аркуш паперу, ви будете вже виписувати безпосередньо самі слова. Ну, знову ж таки, буде залежати від завдання, да? So, in this one, 0, we have keep, right? Because this is the example. For number 1, we have the following. Direct, right, precise, exact. Now you have to think which one can suit you and choose the letter. Для цього ще раз можете прочитати.
B, right.
Yeah, you're
right.
absolutely correct. So, for number 1, we use B. Right. Good. Давайте тепер прочитаємо другий абзац, так само потім подивимося на запропоновані нам слова, і потім повернемося до параграфу і оберемо потрібні нам літери.
Dolphin watching is just one of the many unexpected attractions of a holiday in South Carolina, in the USA. The state has long been popular with golfers and with thousands of in the area. It is a golfer's paradise, but even the keenest golfer needs other diversions, and we soon found the resorts had plenty too.
Okay, now let's look at the second line. So, courses, beaches, grounds, courts. Here it is important to be in the know of some sports vocabulary, because here we have in the sentence, here in the sentence, we have information about golfers. And talking about golf as kind of sport, we should possess some knowledge about the vocabulary connected with this kind of sport. If we talk about people who play golf, they are called golfers. If we speak about places where they can play golf, they are called courses. So special areas, special places where people can play golf. So courses will suit, thus we choose variant A, right? So option A here from number 2 will suit this space, will suit this gap. Then, what about number 3? It is fully, truly, honestly, purely.
Maybe truly.
Truly, yeah, you're absolutely right, variant B. And the last sentence, but even the keenest golfer needs other diversions, and we soon found the resort had plenty to show, provide, offer, supply. if we speak about diversity, that we can choose from, we can say that this place offers us a lot, right? So here we will choose variant C, offer. C, offer.
Okay.
Okay, let's take the third paragraph now.
In fact, Charleston, which is midway along the is one of the most interesting cities in the USA, and is where the first shots in the Civil War were. Taking a guided horse and carriage towards the quiet back streets, you get a real of a city's past. Strict regulations to buildings so that original are preserved.
Okay, let's now try to figure out what we need to use in number 5. So in number 5, we have A, beach, B, coast, C, sea, and D, shore. Let's now look at the sentence.
Maybe coast.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. B, coast. Good. Then number 6. A, thrown, B, aimed, C, pulled, D, fired. Let's again get back to the sentence. So in the sentence, we have information about shots. First, shots in the Civil War were fired. To fire shots means to use some weapon, to use guns, for example, and to fire shots, right? So we choose D here, fired. Okay, let's move on with number 7. So A, significance, B, meaning, C, sense, and D, comprehension. Again, let's get back to number 7.
Maybe variant D again.
Actually, it's C. C. You can get a real sense of the city's past. Get the sense means you can get this feeling. You can feel the city's past. You can emotionally feel it. You can emotionally touch its past. So sense of something has the same meaning of feeling. It is synonymous with it in this case. Feeling. Okay, number 8. So A, apply, B, happen, C, agree, D, occur. Again, for choosing, we have to look at the sentence itself.
Variant A, apply.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Variant A, apply. And the same sentence, but different options. So for number 9, we have A, points, B, characters, C, factors, and D, features.
Features.
Yeah, Totally correct. So D, features. Good. And let's take the last passage in the text.
South of Charleston lies Hilton Head, an island resort about 18 kilometers long and like a foot. It was a fantastic sandy beach, the length of the island, and this is perfect for all manner of water sports. Alternatively, if you feel like doing nothing, a chair and umbrella head for an open space and just sit back and watch the pelicans diving the fish.
Good. So let's look what we have for number 10. So A, formed, B, shaped, C, made, and D, molded. Again, getting back to the text.
Maybe shaped?
Yeah, B, shaped, right? You are. Then, proceeding with number 11 here, we have A, lying, B, running, C, going, D, following. And again, we go back to the text.
Line, word A?
Well, actually, it's B, running. But I understand why you prefer to use A, because it can coincide with the idea that we can have in our mind when talking, when describing some kind of picture connected with beaches, right? But here we are to use B, running. And the last part, so the last space, number 12, here we have A, charge, B, land, C, hire, D, loan. And let's again get back to the text, to the sentence.
Maybe higher.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's a C, hire. We can hire it and relax, right? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you for your work. So do you have any questions about this type of activity? Maybe you also doubt and you want to clarify some aspects of dealing with such a task. Do you have any?
No, I worked with this before a few times,
Uh-huh.
so I understand how it works.
So it's not something new, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, then